Hello, bookworms. Welcome back to the Bonafide Bookworm. And if you're here to read along with me and improve your English. So, I apologize. I actually did not get anything posted for Thanksgiving. I overestimated. I do that sometimes. But I did finally finish Practical Magic, the book. I still haven't had time to rewatch the movie, but I figured I'd go ahead and talk about the book some since I got that done. So spoiler alerts, if you haven't seen the movie or read the book. Apparently the movie tells the story of, like later on. Like, I don't know if you have seen the movie, then you know that Sandra Bullock's character is Sally and she has two little girls. Well, actually in the book, it follows Sally all along until she actually like raises her daughters and everything. She actually moves away from the aunts. She doesn't live in the old cool house that's on the movie. She lives in a completely different state, which I thought was really strange. Something else that I thought was really unusual about this book is there isn't a lot of dialogue. But it works. I really enjoyed it. And it also made me think a lot of the South. I felt like I was reading a book that was set in like, I don't know, Tennessee or Charleston or Alabama, like anywhere in the South, because it talks a lot about the humidity and the heat and all that. And it just made me think about growing up in the South. So that surprised me. And from what I can find, Alice Hoffman is not from the South, so I thought that was interesting. And now I'm curious what, summer's like in some of those more northern states. So as far as that though, the main storyline of the movie follows the main storyline of this book in the sense that Jillian, which is Nicole Kidman's character, does accidentally kill her boyfriend. She does show up on Sally's doorstep asking for help. They do bury him. It just leaves out the whole big chunks of Sally, Sandra Bullock's character, raising her daughters. Like in the movie, they just stay small. They just kind of condensed everything. And one other thing that I remember from the movie, and I can't quite figure out why they plugged that in, but I have this vision in my head of them like having brooms and witches' hats and being like on their roof at the end of the movie. And maybe I'm just crazy, but I don't understand that piece and how it falls into the movie because that is nowhere in the book. It's very strange. But I'm gonna have to rewatch the movie to see what that's about. I cannot wait to read the second book though, so I will get on that and let you know how that is. Although, like I mentioned before, I have been taking a class and it's kind of eating up all of my free time, my fun time when I would normally sit down and read a book. So there might be a delay there. We'll get back to the laws about animals. I just wanted to go ahead and do this because I have been reading this, I feel like forever, and I couldn't put it down. I just got busy and couldn't finish it. And also, like I said, I got towards the end and I didn't want to finish it because I liked it. Oh, something else about this. The character that they choose for Sandra Bullock to fall in love with the second time doesn't match the man that they picked to be the character in the movie, if I remember correctly. But I will reserve that judgment until I rewatch the movie, and then we can go back and forth and see what was different. All right, so there's that. Now we are going to pick back up with Saving Sadie by Joal, Derse, Dauer with Elizabeth Ridley. And when we left off, Joel was trying to decide if she should ask for help, and she did decide that she should, and so she has reached out to her family and friends to ask for funds for Sadie because there's no way that she can afford to do this on her own. So we're picking up on page 66, about midway down. In the midst of so much frenetic activity between the hours of at-home therapy, swimming 3 times a week, long days at the vet, diapering, wound care, email, and internet campaigns, and struggles to raise money, Sadie had her first real breakthrough on May 3rd, only 9 days after I first brought her home, when she took her first few wobbly bunny hops toward the car as we were getting ready to go to Dr. Jody's. In order to encourage Sadie to relearn how to urinate outside on her own, I would remove her diaper and let her spend some time playing in the grass. It always broke my heart to see her struggling so, raising herself up on her front legs and trying to make her scrawny, spindly back legs straighten and support her weight. She looked so helpless, so damaged and disabled in those moments, but I knew it was good for her. Good to get the fresh air, the exercise, and the opportunity to remember how it felt to relieve herself in the grass, doggy style, just like she used to do before she was shot. But on this day, rather than just rolling around and staggering forward, trying to drag her lower body, she hopped. She actually made a concentrated, coordinated movement, pushing up and forward on her front legs while simultaneously pulling her back legs up and over. She looked surprised at her own progress, then immediately did it again, taking another wobbly bunny hop. Then a third hop, and a fourth. She paused to catch her breath, panting hard. My heart soared, and my eyes filled with tears. "That's my girl," I exclaimed. "Sadie, this just goes to show you do want to walk again, and it shows how determined you are to make it happen." It also illustrated the incredible progress she had made in just 9 days. First day Sadie would never have had the strength, energy, or desire to propel herself forward by hopping. Sadie took a total of 20 hops that day. She looked utterly exhausted as I picked her up and carried her the last few steps to the car, holding her close and kissing her head as her heart beat wildly against her ribs and she struggled to catch her breath. "That's my good girl," I soothed her, whispering in her velvety ear. "Keep this up and you'll be back to your old self in no time." After our appointment with Dr. Jody, I couldn't wait to call Marnette and tell her about Sadie's progress. She was as excited as I was to hear the great news, but my mood quickly turned bittersweet as I hung up the phone. I had no one else with whom I could share this major milestone. When I told Jamie Lynn I was keeping Sadie for another month, she expressed skepticism. I knew her concern sprang only from love and her fear that I would lavish so much time, money, energy, and attention on a dog that might still have to be euthanized in the end. As a daughter and as a vet, she felt it was her mission to protect me. My other daughter, Joey, seemed to agree with Jamie Lynn. She especially didn't want my grandchildren, 12-year-old Miranda and 10-year-old Connor, to meet Sadie yet, for fear they would become attached to a dog that was not long for this world. Deep down, I knew my girls might well be right. A few wobbly hops were a long, long way from walking, and there was no guarantee that Sadie would ever achieve that goal. Was I being foolish for getting my hopes up? No, I told myself sternly. Don't start thinking that way. Negativity will get you nowhere. Focus on Sadie. You can make her better. By the middle of May, Project Saving Sadie had reached a fever pitch, even though we were still only 2 weeks in. Our first Saving Sadie website and Facebook fan page, both created and maintained by Marnette, were up and running, and most important, looked terrific. Now we are able to accept donations via credit card through Sadie's website, in addition to the checks being sent to Landmark Credit Union. Marnette was absolutely amazing during this period, as expected. She was working every spare moment that she had to post any new content and updates about Sadie on the website. Meanwhile, I was running her ragged, constantly sending her more photos and information to post. We always asked people to pass on Sadie's website address, to others so that we could increase awareness and hopefully increase funding. I believe that the message that Marnette was sending out to people was so effective because it was so essentially simple. Consisting of 3 heartfelt requests, she asked people to pray for Sadie, to contribute funds, and to spread the message about helping Sadie. Marnette had also started a chip-in account online to raise money for Sadie's upkeep and care. The company is no longer in business today, but at the time, Chip-In was an internet crowdfunding platform similar to GoFundMe that allowed people to follow a specific fundraising campaign and then donate money directly through a link on the Chip-In page. Marnette had spread the word widely to her friends and contacts, and small amounts of money had already been contributed. We set a goal of raising $8,000 in 2 months to pay for Sadie's upcoming surgery. Marnette had also gotten in touch with a woman named Laura Simpson, the founder of the Harmony Fund and the Great Animal Rescue Chase, 2 charities based in Holden, Massachusetts, devoted to helping last chance animals and the organizations that support them. Laura maintained websites that reached over 60,000 visitors each month and that served as a tremendous resource for people wishing to help animals. Laura, even though she didn't know us, was instrumental in getting the funding ball rolling for Sadie after she featured Sadie's story on her site. As soon as the first story posted, emails of encouragement along with small donations started rolling in. As more and more people heard about Sadie's plight, there was some funding available to help supplement the money that I was paying out of pocket for Sadie's care. Marnette literally... As more and more people heard about Sadie's plight, there was some funding available to help supplement the money that I was paying out of pocket for Sadie's care. Marnette literally worked every waking moment before and after her full-time job to help get the word out about Sadie, and the response was incredible. Soon we had people all around the world praying for Sadie and sending her cards and good wishes. Sometimes during these early weeks, I found myself looking at Sadie in amazement. Here she was, often cowering in a corner, a traumatized, underweight, unassuming black and tan dog, still not able to walk, not really able to do much of anything, and still prone to moments of vacantness, listlessness, and extreme passivity, and yet people cared about her. People responded to her story, even people who lived hundreds or thousands of miles away and had never met her and probably never would. Even so, they were touched enough by Sadie's story to send a note or an email to make a $5 donation toward her care. I was truly humbled by the impact Sadie was having every day, even though at that point I could never have imagined what Sadie's future held or what her extraordinary gift to the world would ultimately be. But even with the wonderfully positive response to our email campaign and internet outreach efforts, I knew deep down that it wasn't going to be enough. We needed to widen our base, spread our message further, and reach far more people if we had any hope of keeping Sadie afloat. Paying for advertising was definitely out of the question given our shoestring budget, so our only hope was to try to get the media interested in covering Sadie's story. I had no background in journalism or public relations, but I did have experience in sales, so that's how I approached the task. I needed to sell the media on the merits of doing a story about Sadie. Similar to the email announcements I had sent out to family and friends, I created an email pitch about Sadie and sent it to dozens and dozens of our local media in southwestern Wisconsin. This was a long, tedious, frustrating process, and most of my emails were ignored or answered with a polite decline. We're going to stop there. Okay, we're going to stop at the top of page 72 because today is my birthday and I have things to do. But I hope wherever you're at, I hope that you're having a great day, week, month, year, and wherever you're at, I hope it's great and I hope you come back here. Bye.